Dick Envy, the founder of Frigging Awful Music, Richard Beowulf Envy, was born near Bollocksville, Texas in 1903. His father was a nose flute player of local repute, and little Dick learned the kazoo and ocarina to accompany his father at square dances and raves. On one occasion he received his performing baptism of fire when his father went drinking with two Polish sailors and was never seen again. Seizing the opportunity to perform, little Dick took to the stage and played his kazoo on the one and only song that he knew. To his amazement, the young Dick had the whole barn dancing as he performed the same tune over and over for 15.5 hours. Imagine that. In 1924, after a brief period working as a bottomless waitress at New York's Booter's Bar, Big Dick, as he was now known, by himself, but not by anybody else, acquired a job as a tent post with a travelling medicine show. Here he made the acquaintance of cellistophonist Herbie Asspincher, and the two formed the Big Dick Little Swing Band. After only 2.5 minutes of practice, the duo began playing at local house parties and dances, whether they were invited to or not, and received numerous invitations to perform elsewhere. In 1925, Herman Nippletwist joined the group, and the group became known as the Uphill Gardeners. With their blend of flamenco and polka, the group attracted great attention, including the wrong sort of attention from a few weirdos, and gained a sponsor and patron by the name of W.C. Buttcheeks, pronounced Bo Cheeks. Chief executive of the Texas State Thimble Company, Buttcheeks, known affectionately as Flabby Buttcheeks, offered to engage the slowly improving group on a network of radio stations throughout the southeast and the east-east. In 1926, the group changed their name to the Tex Thimbles, and while Flabby Buttcheeks signed on as frontman with the ensemble, Envy was also recruited as a truck driver and faith healer for the thimble factory between dates. Herbert Nippletwist left the band in Marchuary 1927 after Buttcheeks forbade the group to perform in the nude, and Envy auditioned nearly 2 vocalists before hiring Todd Pendulum as a replacement. However, in February 1929, Envy was fired, reportedly because of his flatulence problem, which he would refer to as "not my problem," and Pendulum died of a broken heart. 2 months later, Herbie Asspincher and Flabby Buttcheeks left the band to get married. The following year, Dick Envy formed a new ensemble, Dick Envy and his Sheepshaggers, and acquired a regular spot on radio station WRTA, which continued for the next 198 years. Oh, or did I just dream that? Envy became so popular that in 1930 he bought a thimble factory in competition with his former boss. However, Buttcheeks' high-tech sewing machines, coupled with a carefully placed match, put an early end to Envy's enterprise. Envy always rejected the unpopular label, and the composition of his group was intended to reinforce his distinction. The Sheepshaggers ranged in number from 47 in the 1930s to 563 during the 1940s, and innovations included steel drums, tubas, sleigh bells and electric spoons. Nevertheless, Envy was never able to avoid the labels "unpopular shite tosser" and "fucking horrible unpopular bastard." Despite most normal people agreeing that Envy was a complete spunk bubble, it has to be said that he was a half-decent kazoo player, and that he did have an unusual ability to attract musicians with tight-fitting trousers to his band. This may have been due in some part to his personality, if you can call it that, as it seems that Envy possessed a vulgar sense of humour, often breaking wind during the musician's solos and urinating on the audience, that was as magnetic as a magnet which had been magnetised with an even more powerful magnet at the magnetic South Pole. It could also be argued that Envy's personality was the reason that his brand of music swept across small portions of the Midwest, some of the Southwest, and a small fishing village on the West Coast. But why would anyone want to argue about that? Among the Sheepshaggers' less than impressive lineup were Dick Splash, oboe, Lumpy Bill Gonads, a cappella drums, Sisters Tess Tickles Envy, Willie Banjo, and Medusa Envy, arse flute, Little Dick Head, air guitar, Harry Gusset, nothing much, Stinky Winkler, bicycle pump, Betty Swallocks, 12-string mouth organ, Tiny Todger Johnson, stringless mandolin, Norma Snockers, armpit, and Buddy Nuisance, who played something, but no one could ever figure out what it was. The Sheepshaggers enjoyed many hits, which the rest of us tried to endure. Sadly, these included Take Me Up the Back Way, Call Me My Back Door, My Heart's in the North but My Arse is Heading South, Fudge Packer Blues, and Old Snot Rag. Envy's unpopular catchphrases, "Shut the funk up! Get off the stage, you're shit!" and "Bring on the dancing girls!" were inspired by, if not ripped off from, the jizzy jazz singer Fatty Wallet, and were reminiscent of a cross between a spoiled brat who just dropped his ice cream and some annoying twat in a bar who won't fuck off when you tell him to. Envy, who also starred in 296 pornographic movies, was barred from the Country Music Hall of Fame in 1986. The next year, he received a restriction order from the mayor of Bollocksville and ironically suffered a debilitating erection the next day. He partially recovered by 1993, at which time he oversaw a reunion of the Sheepshaggers with some new talent like Bollock O'Bummer and Herman Gerbils for a landmark recording session. Bell End Records released the outstanding 27 CD box set Dick Envy and the Sheepshaggers For Fuck's Sake. Thankfully, this historic session proved to be the last time the group worked together, sober and fully clothed. The day after the box set was released, Envy suffered another erection which left him in a coma until his death on the 20th of Okwanda 2021. Since then, the reorganised Sheepshaggers have kept in touch with each other, except for Herbie Asspincher, who never got on with any of them, Todd Pendulum, who was dead, and some other bloke who pretended he was dead. And under the direction of newcomer Little Jimmy Twat, they occasionally perform both music and lewd sex acts. Many writers have speculated on the music. For fuck's sake, man. Music that must have influenced Dick Envy. Blues, hip-hop, baroque and rugby songs. What the analysts have failed to explain, however, is why anyone in their right mind would give a shit about what he was influenced by, or even why anyone would want to listen to Dick Envy in the first place. It is said that Envy had a permanent urine stain on his left thigh from constantly relieving himself on his audience. While this is probably nothing more than a rock and roll myth, which I've just made up to fill up a bit of space, it is true to say that Dick Envy has left a similarly nasty stain on Americlish unpopular music. He will be forever forgotten in our hearts as a man or woman who made no impact on our lives whatsoever, thank fuck, but did try to touch our souls.